But talking about sort of traditional sort of things as well, I know that on your website you've obviously put things like sort of traditional research and creative processes are not the norm anymore. I've passed on now, and to collaborate with a kind of new breed of fan. What do
Yeah.
you feel like are a kind of new breed of fan? And what do you recommend any kind of new business or venture or company to get in touch with these new breed of fan?
Well, the world is changing so fast. It was changing fast before, but this year has accelerated trends, created whole new challenges, whole new opportunities.
Hmm.
2020 has been a year of chaos, disruption, disaster, and brilliance.
Yeah.
All of it rolled up into one, and it is a bit of luck as to which bit you get.
Hmm.
Um, I think that one of the things that Ear to the Ground has really picked up on is that um, the world is much more global, much quicker the spread of ideas between countries and communities and tribes, and that ultimately those ideas are no longer kind of in silos like they used to be.
Hmm.
A younger audience today, is magpie, is picking from here and picking from there and taking bits and pieces.
Hmm.
People don't define themselves by one thing anymore. There's this whole collision of culture happening,
Hmm.
where and we're seeing this in sport, which really it's over the last 5 years, where we see Paul Pogba interacting with Stormzy and
Yeah.
Adidas in the middle
Daddy
of
does.
that, and we're
Yeah.
seeing Rashford doing a campaign about school dinners,
Hmm.
and we're just seeing this whole kind of you look at NBA and its role in music culture.
Yeah.
There's this whole kind of collapse of division
Hmm.
in terms of things are just colliding together, and there's this new breed of fan that is moving very, very quickly through this new landscape.
Mm.
And one of the things that Ear to the Ground has built is a global listening network of 11,000 culturally influential fans dotted all over the world. And we work with them to develop creative ideas for our clients.
That is
So, for
incredible.
example, if Beats by Dre want to know which athlete they should sponsor, they will speak to us, and we will speak to our network of fans around the world to see how different players score, what the sentiment is around those players. And we feed that into our whole loop of making decisions and advising our clients.
Is that fan intelligence that you do
That's
now?
right. We
Mm.
call it fan intelligence, and it's our network. And the way that it works is that we scramble teams together that will work on a specific client challenge or problem or opportunity. So we might have a
Okay.
Beats collective that works in Berlin, a Beats collective in Tokyo, and they will just be fully hooked up with Beats culture, and they will be able to plug into them at any point to find out what's happening in those cities.
Yeah. I mean, how difficult was it to create something like fan intelligence? Because I was obviously looking through the work that you did with that, and it's obviously, like you mentioned just now, as well, 11,000 people that you work with around everywhere. I mean, how difficult was it to create something like that?
It was an evolutionary thing that happened over the last 8 years. We've been working with what we would call rights holders. So rights
Mm.
holders are football clubs, federations, a record label's a rights holder.
Yeah.
Who owns rights?
Mm.
And we were working with people like UEFA um, and different organisations that needed access to what was going on with different fan groups around Europe. So we've been working on Champions League and Europa League for 7 or 8 years now.
Yeah. So.
And ultimately, if a team from Azerbaijan
Yeah.
gets into the Champions League or the Europa League, we need to do a campaign around it.
Mm.
And that means we need to know what Azerbaijani fans are thinking.
Yeah. Of course.
We need to know what songs they're singing. We need to know what scarves they're wearing. We need to get it right, because you can
Mm.
very easily get it wrong. So through this process of working with these organizations and football clubs and leagues and federations, we just built these networks of fans all over Europe. And we realized that we could get answers to problems and questions really, really quickly that was far more accurate and live than looking on Google, because Google's out of date, or it's wrong, or it's one person's opinion.
Yeah.
Whereas this was going straight to the super connected fans that were heavily involved in the culture and saying, what do you think to this?
Yeah.
And the answer is going to be right.
Definitely.
So we've just, over the last 3 years in particular, we've rolled that out. So now it's a function that can work across sport and across culture. it's not just limited to Azerbaijani football fans,
Of
which
course.
is a fairly limited market.
Yeah.
So now we can use it. We use it on every single project that the agency does, and it's been a brilliant job that they've done building it up to 11,000 now.
That's
And
incredible.
There's a real connectivity between us and the network at all times.